Nec Ultima Verba.
But Tenzin's kids are so annoying.
I hate them all. Janora is barely acceptable, but even then she becomes a Deus Ex Machina.
Oh yeah, but God, what's the boy's name? Milo.
Yeah.
I hate him with a burning passion. He's just fart jokes. That's all he does,
jokes.
And it's
just still fart jokes.
You don't see it as that being his thing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second installment of the Avatar episodes, BB.
Woo!
My name is not Callan.
And my name is not Manager Reggie.
Oh, my name is Brandon, but I guess not today.
Well, at least one of us knows something about themselves. If only the writers knew what they were doing when they were writing this show.
Oh!
I like how you cheered for yourself the most.
Oh no, it's horrible. I'm in fact a Tony Stark. I'm very self-interested.
Fair enough.
I haven't, gone through fatherhood yet with a surrogate child. And given him a multi-million-dollar suit capable of breaking the laws of physics. You know how it be.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about the MCU.
We're here to talk about...
You know who.
I thought we were going to keep going at it, trying to speak at the same time.
The
Korra.
North.
That's right, baby. We're talking about North and South Korea today.
Yeah!
Kim Jong-un, please don't fire me.
Yeah, good thing you asked him not to.
Exactly.
Now everything is fine.
Exactly. Everything is perfectly safe now. Established relations have been made.
Yeah.
I am not in danger.
No, you're not. The only thing you're in danger of is Rocco's basilisk, so you better be thinking about that all night.
This is true. Rocco's basilisk can and will come after all of us.
One way or another. Okay, well, first and foremost, guys. Okay, bye, Callan, I guess.
I was just checking the door. You can work for 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
You just stopped there.
I thought you just disappeared. Okay, we'll get rid of that last 10 seconds.
No, we won't.
Yeah, I know you won't, but alright. Basically, I think first and foremost, let's just talk about the things that we like. Get the good out of the way before we
do this. We will do this.
We've got to be, a bit diplomatic and a bit nice, because the show actually does some things okay,
Visually, looks alright.
Oh yeah, animation, superb. Especially season 3 when Korra fights Zaheer. That's one of the best animated sequences I've ever seen.
It really is.
Hats off to the team for doing that. Great job, as always. Studio, I think MIR or something.
Is not in Korea, unless it is.
It might be. I'm not sure. I can't remember. They did a great job though. Yeah, so that was animation. Still really good. Character designs, I think, are not bad. A lot of them are pretty good for the most part, except for maybe Bolin and Marco. They look a bit generic, but...
I mean, some would even argue that, a couple of these characters are a bit too complex for what they were trying to do. A couple of them look like animation hell. Although I'm not myself an animator, so I'm not one to talk. But I've seen a couple people who have opinions on the topic say that they would hate being the one who has to hand draw Korra bending.
I mean, maybe her hair might be annoying or something like that.
But I feel like hair has something to do with everyone.
Yeah, probably.
She's not the only character with hair.
That might be why they cut her hair in the last season.
This is true. Actually, they had a dramatic simplification of Korra's design in the later season. Which actually might just... Yeah. In hindsight, maybe that is exactly what happened and they got sick of animating Korra as her original design. So yeah, shit. They also simplified Asami quite a bit too.
Yeah, Asami. God, that's a can of worms.
That's
all right. Thing. What else is good about this show?
Oops.
All right.
Turn that into a negative.
Reggie,
real fast.
Reggie, you go. What do you like about the one season that you've seen? Of course.
Don't out her like that.
I don't.
She's seen the
whole thing.
Really, I don't know because I didn't really like it. That's why I didn't finish.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Oh, this is great.
Oh no.
I know.
Oh.
Tenzin.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
I will give you that.
Tenzin is the best. He's the best character.
He's the highlight.
And he's voiced by J.K. Simmons. I mean, what more could you want?
Sexiest voice alive.
And he just looks like Aang. Love it.
Okay, you cut out a bit there for me, so I heard just like Aang's.
He looks like Aang.
Yes, he does look like Aang.
He's bald and he's white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Asian.
Like father like son.
Asian.
Yeah, but still.
Asian, nice.
And he's got a sick beard.
He does. Better than yours.
He's got a sick beard.
That's true. He's got a really great haircut.
He does.
Head cut.
Yeah, and he's also got a pretty good character arc. So, you know.
You can feel the hair. No, I fucked it up. What is the quote? You can feel the air on the back of your heads. I don't know.
Something like that. That sounds right.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. What else do we like?
They got creative with bending. Like they brought out lava bending. Like I mean, in particular with like Zaheer's crew.
Oh yeah.
But, like, all of a sudden, we just see a crew of 4 completely unique benders. Like we got Mr. Lava Bender, Sparky Boom Man,
Woman,
Descendant. Not really. We see the fucking chick who uses water bending to get over her armless attitude to life.
Yeah.
And Zaheer.
He's just, you know, an amateur, but a really talented amateur who's not really much of an amateur.
I don't even know if he's an amateur because he literally transcended, you know, material possession and recovered all the ancient airbending arts.
Yeah. He can fly, which is pretty cool without airbending. So, you know, not bad for him.
He just does.
Yeah.
Varric. I don't know.
Varric is literally the best part about the entire show for me.
Yeah, he's the best comedic relief, and he's just Tony Stark, kind of.
He's
in a way.
Literally just Tony Stark, but with less moral issue.
Yeah, with less character.
With less morals. Until like season 4.
That's true.
And even then, that's only because they told him to build a nuke.
Yeah, oh my god, that's right. I also, well, what else is okay? You know what? We got the cameos, right? The cameos from the old Last Airbender cast. I think that's a really good part of the show. Yeah. Seeing Katara, Toph, Zuko, Aang, Sokka, it's all really nice.
This is true.
Yeah. Nice little references and touches to the show.
And like I saw their official, you know, designs when they were in their like 30s or whatever. They look so cool. Their outfits are amazing.
They do.
Especially Zuko. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm going to be a Nelly negative again. But I noticed that on a couple of occasions they'll get Zuko's scar on the wrong side of his face.
Do they?
And it'll like flick between each side in the same scene.
That's annoying.
Oh, God.
Like in particular, the scene where Korra goes up to Zuko. Like while he's like mounting his dragon, well, like you know, like saddling his dragon and shit. He's like, "Hey Zuko, can I have some advice?" And he's like, "Oh sure, what's up, Korra?" And his scar changes sides in the middle of the conversation. It just pans like twice, and all of a sudden, it's on the wrong side of his face.
It's its own character on his face.
It is.
Damn.
I could probably find this like in a matter of seconds.
Like you see me? You see me now?
Yeah,
I mean, I weren't, because that's time with me not paying attention. But like, trust me, they get it on the wrong side of his face, and it's.
Oh, we trust you.
We trust you, Callan, and that's okay. You know what?
Sure, it's allowed to happen if it happens like in one scene, but the fact that it happens in a scene where he has it on the right side of his face and then it just moves to the other side.
It's an animation error. It just happens sometimes, all the time.
Oh yeah, someone just accidentally just went Control-Alt and then
they probably mirrored
the image. Yeah. They just mirrored Zuko's model on the 2D animation grid.
And you know what? It's also, I gotta say, it's really impressive, like, for how high quality the animation is. It's impressive how fast the show, came about and ended, like 2 years, which is kind of insane. So,
Thanks, Nickelodeon, for being a bit of a bitch about that, I suppose. I'll concur. Scheduling, bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is YouTubers have come up with better scripts.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, okay. I don't really know where to start with this, because there's a lot of things wrong with this show.
I know. I think we might actually just do this chronologically.
That makes sense.
Because then we can, like, as annoying as that is, because we just did the last recording a week ago, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't really do that chronologically, we just jumped around, but I feel like this just kind of works because of the villains being, like, it feels like 4 different arcs.
It actually feels like 4 different books, rather than... It
does. Like a continuous thing, like one-minded project.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess... starting with book 1 then. I think it's book 1 Air. Which,
something like that.
Something.
I'm the Avatar and you have to deal with it.
Okay. I know a lot of people hate that, but I gotta say, I kind of like it. In a way. I like it as a concept, but the way they executed it is kind of bad.
Sure, yeah, I agree with that. I like Korra as a concept. Like, Korra is a general base character, sure. Cool. But they never go anywhere with it.
Yeah, like she's the complete opposite. Annoying. Yeah, she's the complete opposite of Aang for one thing, in that she wants to be the Avatar at the very beginning, and she finds out even younger than Aang did, and is constantly pursuing that, and she knows all the elements by the time we finally get to know her.
Yeah,
get to know her in quotation marks. So yeah, it's a good idea and concept, just for that contrast, so they're not the exact same character. But yeah, it's like you said, they didn't really do too much with that.
I don't mind that Korra is a loud, brash, in-your-face female lead Avatar. I think that's fucking cool. Only issue is she's not that. She's more immature than Aang is. And Aang was a literal... How old was he? 12?
But
she just comes across as a child. Like, whenever something goes wrong, she just starts pulling faces at people, throwing things at them.
Yeah. Like on one hand, because by the end of the show, I'd argue that she's matured quite a lot. She's moved beyond that. Yeah, especially since she's like in her 20s by the end of the show, so
Yeah.
Like it gets sketchy at times. Like they fall back on their old tendencies, and I like Korra as a character is meant to be stunted because the White Lotus has like essentially isolated her in the South Pole to be trained by a bunch of nobodies that we literally know nothing about.
Yeah, she didn't get to have that worldwide kind of experience of taking in other cultures.
She's literally meant to be a fucked up avatar that knows nothing and is kind of shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they never actually address that until they get to Zaheer. And even then, it's in like a one-off sentence where Zaheer's like, oh, hey, by the way, you weren't meant to be stuck in the South Pole. But then we tried to kidnap you, and then you were, so oops. Yeah. But anyways, we're going to kill you now.
Pretty much, Yeah, overall, just book one, man, is so full of problems. And all right, we have to talk about the relationship square that actually freaking happens in this first season, especially, which is so annoying.
Oh,
it's the fact that they have to hammer in that they're teenagers and they're all horny for some fucking reason.
Okay, I need to get this out now, because this is something that I hate so much about this show. Okay, so first and foremost, you have Korra, who likes Mako. Mako, who's with Asami, I think, after meeting her for the first time. And Bolin likes Korra. And then Korra gets bad advice, saying to just go after Mako anyways, even though he's in a committed relationship. And then Mako gets confused, and then Mako and Asami break up off camera, which is really annoying. Ooh. First of all, we get there's no, actual tension or, resentment there. And
not somehow, to mention, this whole time, Korra knows that Bolin kind of has a thing for her. And then she still goes out of her way to be a complete fucking bitch to Bolin.
That too.
True.
And then, my God, by the end of this book, Korra and Mako get together for some reason, I guess. And somehow this entire friendship group is still together because even though they all broke each other's hearts.
How have they not all killed each other except for Bolin is just sitting in a corner crying?
I know, right? Like, Bolin doesn't even have any resentment towards Mako or anything like that. They could have played up with something there.
Make up in like 30 seconds because they go to a restaurant or some shit.
That's how good Bolin is.
Yeah, Bolin is actually kind of nice,
He's
admittedly.
just a good guy.
Yeah.
Bolin's the least offensive person in Team Avatar. That's what it is.
Yeah. And then we get to book 2, right? And this is when I really started to do my head in.
Oh my fucking God.
So, Korra... yeah, I know. It got worse, basically. Korra and Mako break up because they discovered they don't actually like each other that much because they don't support each other that much with their crazy ideas or whatever it is.
And to be fair, personally, I feel like Korra was the problem with that issue.
Oh, yeah, no,
that
definitely.
Relationship.
Korra's absolutely the problem.
Yeah.
Are you taking his side? Whose side are you on? You're either with me or you're against me.
Yeah.
Bitch, that's fucking...
that's toxic.
That's toxic as hell.
And not to mention, like, Marco's a detective now or something, even though he's like 16. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyways, so then Mako gets back together with Asami, right?
Again.
Which, fair play to them if that's what they like, sure.
Whatever.
But then Korra loses her memory of the breakup and then gets back with Mako. And then Mako just cheats on Asami right in front of her.
Like, everyone's just looking at them after Korra runs up and then just gives Mako the biggest kiss you've ever seen. He's like, oh my God, I missed you. My unsupportive boyfriend is not on my side.
And then Mako doesn't even tell her the truth until, like, the very end of the season.
Yeah.
And then they finally all break up and they're still all best friends, I guess. So...
But it's so pointless.
It
does nothing for any of them.
And I think the writers realized that, which is why they just kind of pressed reset on it.
They just did a time skip, Shippuden style.
Then
you didn't see any
oh
of
my
that.
God.
Let's move on.
Exactly, but then there's another problem. Korra and Asami get together at the end of the series. Now that's fine, right? I'm also, I'm supportive of that if that, that's good for representation and that sort of thing. But there's one big problem. They should hate each other. They literally they dated the same guy and had that same guy. It doesn't make sense, right? I can't be the only one who thinks this.
Fucking problem,
right? I can't be the only one who thinks this. Everyone on Reddit loves them as a couple, and I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. They should hate each other.
They're not given enough time to justify them being together. That's literally it.
Or even being friends.
On the part that it's like girl and girl.
Well, for representation, I guess.
I find it really hilarious that, like, when they go into the comics, which pick up immediately after it ends, they just go on a date in the spirit world, completely ignore everything that just went down, including Korra essentially letting off a nuke in the middle of the city, and just like hundreds of people being displaced. And and it gets weird.
It hurts my head.
The relationship just gets worse. Like,
oh god.
Well, I don't know about worse, but like Korra's dad might be slightly homophobic.
Oh god, yeah, I remember you saying,
Water Tribe customs. I think in particular was that because Water Tribe customs meant that you don't really tell people about that sort of thing. And then Korra just took it the worst way possible. Like, reading it, it didn't feel as if he was outright like he didn't want to allow it to happen. He was just slow on the progressive uptake about being open or progressive. Like, he was just keep shit on the down low. No one needs to know that other people in relationships, because that's people just minding their own business.
Based on how this relationship came about, I don't want to know either, because it's absolute garbage.
So fucking weird, and the comics make it so much weirder.
And I can't get over the fact that this group is still friends after all this crap they did to each other.
That's some true friendship.
I mean, I don't get how they're still friends with Marco, especially both of them.
Like, Marco should have run off at this point.
Yeah. Man, I just don't like the way they executed the relationships in this show, and the friendships. The friendships are even worse. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, I know I jumped around a lot there, but
the closest thing to a reminiscently amusing relationship was Bolin with the fucking North Water Tribe princess Eska.
Yeah.
But even then, it was just watching Bolin get fucking abused. And then just laughing at it because, abuse funny.
Yeah, fair enough.
It kind of got sad at times.
Look, the best relationship in this show is Varric and Julie. Which says something. Because, okay, Reggie, I know since this happens way later on, you wouldn't know too much about it, but basically, Julie is like Varric's servant, butler, maid, sort of assistant.
Do the thing.
Yeah, she just kind of does whatever he says, and then they're not, I wouldn't say it's a healthy relationship.
Till like the 4th season for Varric to be like, hey, I kind of don't treat you well enough, but now that I'm a changed man, do you want to get married?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
But, like, it takes 30 seconds for him to pull that out of his ass.
Oh, wow.
And that's the most healthy relationship in this whole show, and that just blows my mind.
That's messed up.
And, like, I get that Nickelodeon probably had some rules against having, two girls getting together. Which,
yeah, that's why they didn't explicitly kiss.
Yeah.
That's why they just, like, walked into the light and then it cut.
Was it so hard to just make them at least be convincing friends? Right? Like...
Yes.
True. Wait,
after
so did
all the
they
damage
have,
they did,
like, moments together?
Not really. I mean, they kind of became friends, but it doesn't really make sense why they did.
They just kind of like, after the events of season 3, when Korra's badly injured, which we'll get to, like, she goes off to recuperate in the Southern Water Tribe, and then just for no reason, the only person she stays in contact with is Asami. Like, she doesn't contact Bolin.
Yeah.
Bolin. Or Marco, and they're all, like, regularly sending her postcards, and she's only replying to
Wow,
Asami.
what a B-word.
Like, where the fuck does that come from?
I just don't get why Asami still likes Korra, considering that Korra is the reason why Asami and Marco broke up twice. It hurts.
Right, you know what'll take your mind off this, Brandon?
What will take my... sorry, wait. Reggie, what'd you say first?
I just said that, yeah, the writers just like... They were like, you know what? They're together. Let's just do it really, really randomly. Put them together to make it really, really shocking.
Genius.
Yeah, pretty much. It could have been anyone, but they chose Asami and Korra to be together. It could have been anyone else.
It's like a love-hate relationship.
I mean, hey, you know what? Props to them, though. They did kickstart that whole, like, they made it more acceptable to have, LGBTQ plus.
But even compared to fucking Steven Universe,
that's true.
They put it everywhere.
Well, okay. Either way, yeah, Callan, please make me take my mind off this because I hate thinking about this.
Is Aman from season 1 a communist?
I don't know. Okay, so we didn't get to finish our politics discussion. So, Callan, explain what a communist is for me.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Okay.
I was like,
well, I mean, just in general, a lot of people have essentially pointed out that all of the primary villains, aside from fucking Vaatu, because he's as vague as fuck, kind of represent like a political idea. Aman's a bit of a sore thumb because people say that he kind of represents communism.
Okay.
And communism determines that all people are born equal and whatnot, have equal rights, etc. And in our world, when you kind of get into it, communism technically means that there is no such thing as being paid. Like, people will just coexist and people will perform roles in their communities and everyone will just be provided with what they need to survive comfortably and live equitably.
Right.
Which is why it would never happen, because Apple would immediately just fucking blow up all their warehouses instead of going communist because they can't make profit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue with Aman being a communist is because, well, obviously he chicken shits out at the last minute and turns out that he's just some spoiled fucking brat who has daddy issues and wants to get back at his brother and decides to blow up a boat or some shit. Actually, no, his brother blew up the boat, but still, like, he's just a fucking waterbender playing pretend at Revolution to get back at his brother who's on the city council. But what Aman represents was presented as equality between benders and non-benders, but in a theoretical or a hypothetical society like this, benders and non-benders just aren't born equally. Like, that's just kind of an unfortunate fact.
Yeah.
Which means that Aman didn't really stand for our version of communism. Because from where we come from, the worst place, like, communism comes from a place of like status and wealth and equalizing people in that regard, or in regards to race and gender and those kind of like social constructs. But bending isn't a social construct. It's a matter of genetics. People are just benders.
Yeah.
And Aman did present the idea of just removing bending, but then that becomes an idea of, well, is that morally palpable? Like, should you be removing people's bending? Because that is as much as a part of them as is their limbs.
Yeah.
So, Aman being a communist is a really weak and tattered idea, but they drive it so fucking hard. Because, like, you look around and, like, they call themselves the Equalists.
Oh, right,
and there are a bunch of non-benders who use technology to get back at the bending class who are oppressing the majority, the working class, the people who just can't get ahead in life.
Wait, so they made technology so they could get on par with
actually,
benders.
unironically, yeah.
So that's kind of stupid then, because then they could just keep using technology so that everyone's equal, right?
You'd think it's really weird because they go into this in the comics, which like follow after the original Avatar series, but essentially there's an industrial boom, in particular like mining and manufacturing, and all of it, like, because of this, all of a sudden benders aren't quite as necessary. But then benders start revolting against that because, hey, all of a sudden we feel threatened in our masculinity and whatnot. Well, not masculinity, but like our bending empowerment from our self, like our inherited genetic right, is being threatened by these lower non-bending people. Like benders actually started revolting against factories that were hiring non-benders for, like tasks of equal value, and they started like blowing up factories and shit. It gets intense, and I mean, you see it in Korra how like firebenders train to become lightning benders just to like power up fuel cells and all that sort of stuff. I think that's still an indispensable commodity. Like, you can't really get around that quite as easily.
Yeah.
But technology, while it makes people equal, it's still not accessible.
Right.
And especially, like, we're seeing this in the scope of Republic City. And I fucking hate Republic City because Republic City is 1920s New York, which is spawned in the middle of fucking Asia.
Yes.
With no American fucking influence whatsoever.
It's so weird.
How the fuck does that happen? Like, I brought this up briefly with Brandon, but like the closest you could ever get to something like that happening is what happened to Tokyo after 1940s, like with World War II, when America came in and was like, hey, stop being Asian. Be more like us. And then even then it didn't create New York 2. It's just Tokyo, but with more cheeseburgers. And even then they're like, they have rice options at Macca's, like...
Definitely just whitewashed.
Literally. You don't get this level of Americanization. I think Republic City as a whole is just really shoddy writing, but anyways.
I mean, I think it's just boring, the fact that they spent 4 seasons in that place rather than...
They just go nowhere else.
Yeah. I think if it was just like 1 season in that place, sure, I'll take it, whatever. But then
I would love to see like a steampunk Asian themed kind of like central hub city.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine they actually put a little bit of effort into it instead of just copying the template that literally everyone fucking uses for a 1920s cartoon?
Yeah.
Like, god damn it, the announcer guy literally sounds like a fucking New York radio guy, Like,
he does, yeah. That's very true.
And bending, that's literally like pro bending, that's just fucking boxing and shit. It's just televised sports and stuff. The Industrial Revolution and like the development of technology, that makes sense. That happened within 100 years because the Fire Nation literally started the Industrial Revolution during that 100-year war.
Before even.
And then they just really ramped it up. And so, yeah, it fucking makes sense that stuff would start appearing all over the place. I just don't like it that it's American. But I digress. Like, you only see like that level of technological potential for equality, which isn't even shown because, let's be honest, like you see the High Council of Republic City, all benders.
Yeah,
there are no non-benders on that committee, and there's just no representation, so they're left on the streets. And there's that scene where the fucking council member whose name I've forgotten, who doesn't really matter, he's like rounding up non-benders who are out past their curfew because because of the whole Aman Equalist movement, and they're rounding them up. And then one woman shouts out at Korra, "You're our avatar too!" Like it just becomes this whole idea of like Korra has to come to the realization that, hey, she kind of is their avatar, kind of needs to fucking do something about it. It takes people being rounded up like sheep for her to realize that after abusing like people trying to spread the cause and shit. Like, how many times did she knock over that one poor guy who's trying to just be like, hey, we want rights too. Where's our democratic representation?
Yeah. Politics.
And of course, you don't see that at all in the Earth Kingdom, but maybe save that for next season, which will happen in about 3 minutes.
Yeah. Look, all in all, the first season kind of just sucks.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of good ideas that just don't get executed well, I think.
That's really it. Like, Korra could be just so much better. Quite frankly, I don't like that Aman is a twist villain. Aman should have been what they were saying he was the whole time, which is an Equalist member, just some guy who discovered spirit bending. He wasn't just a secret water bender who had an issue with his fucking brother. That just ruined his whole character. Aman was actually interesting until then. Up until that point, he was a guy with a fucking burn mask and everything. He had like a whole interesting backstory, but no, he's just some kid with a fucking makeup and a mask. He water bends, not
blood
fucking
bends.
Interesting.
Yeah. Ooh. As cool as it was to see blood bending make a return, you know.
Lazy as hell.
I think what made blood bending so cool to begin with was just the fact that it was such a minor thing. Like, it was a thing that just kind of happened, and that was it.
No one could do it.
Yeah.
No, just Hama and Katara. It's kind of interesting because Hama is literally the reason why Katara's mother was taken and killed. Because when she escapes from the Fire Nation prison, all of a sudden they're like, holy shit, waterbenders are fucking metal as hell.
Yeah.
Let's just go double check. Make sure we didn't leave any. And
look, book 2 is its own canon.
Gets worse.
It gets worse. Yeah.
This might be a long episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, well, I guess let's just get...
We can split this one up if we have to. Let's just talk.
I just don't want to talk about book 2 that long because I don't like it. I hate that.
They fucked up the spirits.
Yeah.
This is the season where they talk about Avatar 1, isn't it?
Yeah. Admittedly, the whole origin, like the first Avatar story, it is cool.
Visually, looks cool. Like the art style is amazing. And I get that they were going for something, but overall, it fucks everything over.
Yes. That tends to be what this show does a lot.
It's really good at that.
Yeah, we get nice character development for Tenzin this season. So that's really cool. See, Reggie, if there's one thing to keep you watching throughout all of Korra, it's Tenzin. He's a really cool
It's literally just Tenzin.
It's only Tenzin.
Yeah. And also
Varric.
maybe Zaheer. Yeah, Varric. But,
and even then, I feel like they ruined Zaheer, which is sad because he's my favorite.
But, anyways. So what is there to say about book 2?
It's fucking stupid. There is a list out there of the top 5 things you should not do in an Avatar continued series, and number 1 is Dark Avatar.
Yeah.
And then they go and cross that line.
Yeah. So the whole Dark Avatar thing, God, that was so stupid. And then they all got big. They turned into like just Power Ranger villains all of a sudden, and then
it's just so boring.
Yeah, it was like Giant Korra versus Giant Uno, whatever his name is.
Vatu, or whatever the fuck they called it.
Yeah.
Just the fact that Vatu and Rava even exist,
Yeah.
I feel like we've discussed this before. In fact, we probably have, but that just ruins the entire point of the Avatar cycle. And that the Avatar is meant to be a human who can live amongst, the mortal realm and coexist and come to understand and empathize with all nations and all peoples, and not be some separate entity like an immortal spirit, which is what the Avatar is now.
Yeah, because the whole point is for it to just, like we was saying in the last episode, is that the world is grey, right? It's not. There's no distinguished good or evil throughout it. Everything
it's meant to be yin and yang.
Yeah, everything is equal. It's in balance. That's the whole point of the show. The whole point of the Avatar. And then the whole it divides it, and then there's no balance anymore.
Just cuts that clear black and white, and they're so close. They are so close. All they had to do was change a couple words, and it's perfectly fine. What if Rava was the spirit of peace? And all of this, and if peace in itself can still be a bad thing, because what if you're peaceful under an oppressive regime? What if there is peace under dark times and whatnot.
Yeah.
Or there is no conflict, and then there's no resolution, and Vaatu needs to like have a reason to exist. Like literally, the Vaatu is just bad, and he's not allowed to win ever. And if he ever wins, the whole world is doomed. Unfortunately, Rava wins every time. And it's bad.
I can't believe it was
children's level storytelling.
It was a couple of different colored carpets that managed to really destroy this entire series, I think.
It really was.
Yeah. Just carpets, right? Am I the only one who thinks that?
Flying fucking magic carpets.
They look like carpets, yeah. And also, I've got to talk about the elephant, because there's not many other elephants here, I guess, but the fact that Korra loses the whole Avatar cycle, or whatever it is, like the past lives.
What's crazy is the only reason why she does that is because the writers were being fucking bullshit with it. Because in an interview, they said they had to get rid of Korra's previous lives because they felt that it was too powerful. The only reason why they had any reason to feel like that is because at the end of season 1, Aang literally just appears before Korra and gives her the Avatar state.
Yeah, and energy bending. And
energy bending, and just everything else, and then she just gets it for free, and then it doesn't even look like she's learnt it. She just has that magic scene where the Avatar bends all 4 elements at once, except it looks like Korra's on autopilot, and she doesn't even register what she's doing.
Yeah, it sucks. God.
And then the first scene that we see of season 2 is Korra using the fucking Avatar state to beat a child at a fucking air scooter race.
Yeah, the children. God, Tenzin's kids are so annoying.
I hate them all. Janora's barely acceptable, but even then she becomes a Deus Ex Machina.
Oh yeah, but God, what's the boy's name? Milo.
Yeah.
I hate him with a burning passion. He's just fart jokes. That's all he does, and
it's all fart jokes. And even when he matures, it's just still fart jokes.
You don't see it as that being his thing.
It's not
too much.
It's not good. It's just bad humor. He can be a kid. They wrote Aang.
Yeah,
Aang is a person. Aang was bearable. Aang was fun.
Aang was funny.
He was a kid.
Yeah.
He wanted to go penguin sledding and ride on fish.
I mean, I get that Milo's like 3, but then why is a 3-year-old fighting people? Why is he
farting on people?
Why is he farting? God. Yeah. I don't like it. That's just how I feel about book 2. I don't like it. It's not good.
They ruined the spirits. Like, Heibai felt impartial. He just felt like a force of nature without a human idea of what is good and what is bad. Like, I talked about this, like the whole existing outside of human morality. But then all of a sudden, the spirits can be defined as good and bad and impure, and they can be cleansed if they're being bad.
By humans.
When Vaatu turns up, all the spirits turn evil. That's just bad. It's not even remotely good writing. Like, that is the laziest shit I have ever seen. And that is the most adorable 4-legged little Muppet I've ever seen.
Well, you can see?
Yeah, little lady just walks past. Oh, there she goes again. Anyways.
My puppy just ran past the door. I have a puppy.
But either way.
Cute.
Season 2, it's just bad.
Okay.
And
one moment.
Kaiju, 43, 50. Oh.
Okay. Sorry, she got into the socks again.
Oh.
Yeah. Just real quick, we can keep this in the episode if you want, but yesterday, she ran immediately into my mum's room and grabbed a mouthful of socks and then just ran out. And I saw her and she just had all these socks in her mouth and was looking at me like, "What are you doing?" "Hello." "Oh, she's in here now."
Oh, that's hilarious.
Come here, Peppa. Come here. Look, it's Peppa. Say hello, Peppa.
Peppa the dog.
Peppa the dog.
So cute.
Woof. Whoa. Who are these people, Peppa?
Give me a bark.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
She's like, let me go.
Yeah.
If you love me, let me go.
Imagine she's singing that in her head right now.
Yeah, her thoughts are probably all just barks at this point.
Yes.
God, she was licking me. I think she was apologizing for destroying the backyard earlier and making me clean it. Who knows? Speaking of destruction, let's talk more about how Book 2 ruined the whole show.
Yeah.
No,
wrap it up, but like...
Yeah, I think...
We should save that for the next episode.
It's the weakest link.
Part 2, Korra. Ew.
No, let's just push through the rest of Korra now. I think it's... Because...
Fuck it, this can just be the long one.
Yeah,
okay.
That's fine.
We've got all the time in the world, right?
Yeah. Easy. And
sure.
Look, next up is Zaheer, and I think Zaheer will take up the majority of the time anyways, because he is the best part about Korra.
Essentially.
Yeah. The best villain.
Zaheer and his crew is... Oh.
Okay.
If you love me, let me
You're going to be hearing a bit of that. Apologies, but
yeah. Zaheer, his crew, most epic reveal.
Oh yeah.
Go into these super secret fucking prisons, and they're just breaking out. It looks sick. And then they're all sick. Their styles are awesome. Like they're throwing blades of lava around.
And then you get the Zuko reveal as well, which is just icing on the cake.
Zuko turns up on his dragon, which hatched from the egg that he got from the sun thingy warriors when he stole the rock from their temple on accident. It turned out to be a dragon. They never really revealed that, but we all kind of know it.
Look, Reggie, if you're going to watch any more of Korra, just skip to book 3, because it actually is really good.
Let's do that.
Skip book 2, it's not worth it.
And even then, don't even think too hard about book 3, because I could very quickly ruin it.
This is true. Yeah.
Would I still understand it if I just skip to book 3?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Book 2 means nothing.
Yeah, because like the whole...
Oh, shit, but you missed Varric. Yeah. You missed the best part about book 2 is that Varric is literally... because
then you also miss out, fortunately, on the whole thing when Bolin becomes a movie star.
This is fair. But just briefly, I don't... does this start in like a later series? But essentially, Varric is introduced, and the war shit doesn't happen until season 3, does it?
No. Season 4, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so never mind. But you miss out Varric's introduction, but it's fine. But irregardless, we see a bit of a shift towards the Earth Kingdom as well, which is really good. Because, wow, Korra just Deus Ex Machina'd a bunch of new airbenders into the world.
Yeah.
Which, I just feel like that just does a massive disservice to the kind of struggle that a lot of real-life examples exist out there when it comes to rebuilding a culture. Like... Obviously, they're gonna fucking take it, but really, does it have to be the fucking Magic Portal Unavaru fight that justifies why airbenders start popping up again?
Yeah.
Like, that just vexes me to no end.
I get it, they wanted to bring back the airbenders, but it's like they also credit it to Korra.
The whole struggle and like the whole point of their fight, like it was just fucking values
And it's the fact as well that it's just a bunch of random guys and girls who just suddenly become airbenders, even if they don't want to. Which, isn't that a bit unfair? Just suddenly you have to become something that you're not,
That's the whole of society right now.
Yeah. Unironically, I'm being forced to be who I am.
Yeah, the other day I just got forced to learn how to bend a lightning bolt, and it's pretty cool, but it doesn't mean I like it.
But yeah, aside from that, one thing that does also peeve me a little bit is that literally nothing in the Earth Kingdom has changed at all. In fact, I imagine it's gone worse during Aang's time.
Ba Sing Se is the exact same as it was in The Last Airbender.
I still argue it's probably worse.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you see the Earth Queen, and, you're introduced to her, and she does the Queen Victoria thing, where it's like, oh, I don't like the whole thing. Just move it over a couple inches. Doesn't feel right. Or just go over the top with it, but she's nothing more than a tyrant, and then just Korra just goes with it. Bruh.
I mean, on the other hand, though, we get to see her be brutally murdered by Zaheer on screen. That, honestly, when I first saw that, I was so shocked that was, in this animated show that's geared towards children. It was
pretty cute.
Yeah, pretty crazy how Zaheer literally sucked the life out of her. But, yeah, anyways. Okay, what else is there to say about Book 3?
Book 3. The fuck happens in Book 3? There's a bit of spirit world stuff, and Tenzin has that, oh no, he does that in Book 2. And then Jinora just becomes Deus Ex Machina Spirit Bender extraordinaire. I mean, fair enough, whatever. It was kind of funny, I guess, but then they just kind of hammer it in over our heads. I don't know. I mean,
I
think a lot of the issues is that they don't have enough time to flesh things out.
Make it memorable, because I barely remember, and it's the best, which is unfortunate. It's the best of the Korra seasons, and it's just, I can't remember it that well. Which sucks, but
as a lot.
Yeah. I will say that. Oh, yeah, you go.
I mean, one thing that really kind of gets you is, you see the moment where Zaheer loses all attachment. Not just, in the fact that he literally just fucking takes off and flies, 10 seconds later. But, you just see that in his face. And then he immediately just goes stone cold.
Yeah.
Release all attachments from this earth. Yeah. And then whoosh.
His girlfriend literally explodes right in front of him.
Is just vaporized.
And he's just
pretty gruesome.
He's just like, oh no. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. And admittedly that's really chilling just to see how quickly he let go of that relationship.
He's meant to be. It's interesting because this just proves that he still attains to those Airbender philosophies, which just shows how how almost any philosophy really can be extricated for one's own personal needs. You can bend and warp the truth, if you will.
Yeah.
How you desire, and Zaheer had respect for the nomads. Evidently, he had a lot of research prior to becoming an airbender spontaneously. So, I mean, that was rather lucky on his part.
Yeah, I do quite like, and this is just about Korra overall, how they showed the worst of each nation, in a way. It really just hammers in that idea that Iroh said in The Last Airbender, where, you have to have a balance of understanding of each of the four elements in order to be whole. You can't just have one or the other.
Yeah.
I really like that about Korra, at least. You see it so well in Zaheer, where he only adheres to these Airbender philosophies, and that distorts it and makes him into the villain of the series.
But what's also really good, and I hate to cut in again, but like
good.
Zaheer forces Korra to wonder what her role in the world even is anymore. Because Zaheer points out that Korra, as the Avatar, is a part of the societal structure that perpetuates, the old ideals of the Earth Queen, and it also just perpetuates the idea that there is inherent value towards Korra's opinion over others because she's the Avatar, and that all of a sudden people are meant to hand over a level of their own personal freedom to her simply because she's the Avatar.
Yeah.
When you can't elect the Avatar. So that's a large part of the reason why Zaheer just decided, fuck it, I'm not bothered training an Avatar to be part of the Red Lotus and whatnot. I'm just gonna fucking kill the cycle right here.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he's not far off, because you see Korra is essentially just perpetuating the systems that are already around her. She never did anything about the Earth Queen, neither did Avatar Aang.
Yeah.
The Earth Kingdom is still the same, if not worse. Republic City is incredibly flawed. And the Avatar is a symbol of perpetuating a lot of that, as outdated as it may be in that society. And you do kind of see Korra struggle with that. Because she starts seeing people mobilizing of their own accord, or people dismissing her. But I feel like that's my one issue a lot of the time, is that sometimes Korra doesn't quite have to confront something until it becomes a bit of an afterthought. Like, when she meets Toph, I think in season 4, Toph literally has to spell out everything for her.
Yeah.
Just to, like, physically recap, like, Amon, he wanted equality for all, and Unalak brought back the spirits, except she got it all wrong. But, like, because Amon didn't want equality, and Unalak didn't want to bring back the spirits, and Zaheer didn't want to give people justice and all that crap, or at least he tried to.
Yeah.
But on that note, like, Zaheer fails inherently in that he chooses anarchism.
Okay.
I've probably said this, but he's a fucking idiot.
So one thing first, as the resident non-political stupid, what is anarchism, Callan?
So anarchism, as is roughly implied in the name, is just the general idea of societal anarchy, where society exists without a formal structure, so no kings or queens. Like, you dethrone an existing structure so that people may live according to their own ideals and rules and whatnot. And typically anarchism relies on total anarchy, like the French Revolution and all that, people's heads being chopped off, etc. Just a complete total rewipe. Except anarchism is really just a gateway for another system of power to come in. It creates a power vacuum,
which is what happens in Korra.
Exactly what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Because all of a sudden, you see the next in line is brought up, but then Kuvira comes in and establishes a military state before his coronation in order to rebuild the Earth Kingdom, but then retains that power. But we'll talk about that in season 4. But I just feel like the fact that he goes for anarchism instead of literally anything else, just kind of, because he doesn't do it the same way that the Joker does in The Dark Knight, where it's like, it's not about the money, it's about sending a message.
I like your impression.
Exactly. He's just doing it because he genuinely believes that it'll be helping people, when he arguably just sends them into a worse threat.
Yeah.
And I feel like that does him a disservice as the only half-decent fucking villain in this goddamn series.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose you can put that up to, the villain's arrogance being their downfall, thinking they know best, maybe, but... Or it could just be shoddy writing, who knows?
I just think he should have been too smart to fall for anarchism.
That's true. Well, I didn't even know what that was until just now, so... Yeah.
It'd be like that. Still, despite all that Nelly negativism, Zaheer and Co, they look really fucking cool. Bolin starts lava bending for no fucking reason, but like whatever.
Marco kills a woman, so
he does that.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty. Right after Bolin just befriended them, so.
Oopsie.
Yeah. All in all, book 3 is the best, which says a lot.
Yeah, which says a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
Boy.
And I guess we'll just get into book 4 now.
Real quick. Book 4.
Yeah. Okay, so first and foremost, I do want to just mention that it was really cool seeing Toph again. She was the best part about book 4.
I'm still annoyed that the moment she met Milo, he just says the most annoying 3 lines in existence, and then Toph just tolerates it.
What did he say?
He says something along the lines of, "Old, grumpy, blind, you must be tough." And it's like, wow, kid, thanks for saying the fucking obvious in your annoying-ass voice.
Right, yeah. Oh, and isn't there like a time skip for this season? Yeah. So he's older now as well? Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, no, it's disgusting, because after Zaheer essentially almost succeeds in killing the Avatar, so she has to piss off for 3 years or some shit to get a heal in the Southern Water Tribe and stuff.
Yeah, and she gets PTSD, which admittedly the PTSD arc was good, but also it's a bit boring.
It's a bit late.
Yeah. Yeah, what else happened in this season? I'm forgetting now.
But yeah, so like during that time, Kuvira established that military state. Now, to be fair, Kuvira kind of did fucking unite, the Earth Nation. And she wasn't far off from being a perfectly decent leader. And to be honest, I feel like up until the last minute, they don't do enough to show us a justification as to why she's a bad person until she literally starts building nukes.
Yeah. And a giant robot so she can destroy the city.
Fucking disgusting.
She full on goes Power Ranger and makes a giant
Power
robot.
Ranger, and it's so bad.
I mean, I get they probably use CGI because they couldn't afford to.
Because they couldn't afford to just hand draw the fucking robot.
Yeah, you sounded very far away there for a moment, Cal, but I'll take it.
I did.
Yeah, and it was good. It's still season 3 and 4 are way better than the rest of the whole series, but
perhaps.
Yeah, I know this season also brought in Korra alone, right? That was one of the episodes, if I recall correctly.
Kind of felt disrespectful to Zuko alone on this.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I get what they were going for, but, didn't quite hit the mark. That's like this whole show, I think. It just doesn't.
It just misses.
Which is unfortunate, but, yeah. Is there anything else about Book 4, Cal, in your opinion?
I mean, so like Kuvira, the fact that when Korra finally shows up, Kuvira just whoops Korra's ass.
Oh yeah.
Okay, like that's kind of cool. Yeah. Like finally, someone turns up with a half decent amount of fucking skill, but just like. Then all of a sudden, it just reverts into a big CGI dipshit shitfest fight. They have these stupid hummingbird helicopters.
Oh, yeah.
Which are literally impossible according to the laws of physics. That is, those things are disgustingly bad visually. that it just throws you out of it immediately. Looking at them,
right? Yeah,
immediately suspenses all belief,
and it doesn't make sense within the context of the world, considering this is like, what, the 1920s. That just doesn't seem very possible.
Doesn't even look. It just looks bad.
Reggie, I'm curious because you haven't seen these seasons or anything from them. What does this sound like to you? Is this just like all these robots and hummingbird robots?
Yeah, just sounds like something's flying and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It just looks stupid. Like, it's like how the bumblebee is not meant to fly, but it does anyways, except it's like if someone took a bumblebee and then added like 50 kilograms to it, but didn't change the wings.
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
And they can be piloted.
And then Kuvira turns up with the big metal guy, and it's exactly like Vaatu.
Yeah.
Except Korra just doesn't hop into the convenient spirit portal and change into the fucking
big lady
Korra and then just beat the shit out of it,
Yeah.
Instead, she just looks at it and watches it as it approaches ever closer.
And Mako sacrifices himself, kind of. For some reason,
fractures his arm.
He gets like this big heroic moment for whatever reason, where he gets to lightning bend the core of the machine or whatever.
It's like the third time he's ever lightning bended in the entire series, too.
I wish that he had a bit more developed. He was just there after his whole relationship issues.
He really was.
Didn't do anything else, which was very unfortunate. But I've said that a lot. It's very unfortunate about this series. So
they really didn't even have to do it, to be honest.
They didn't. It's okay.
Avatar was perfect as it was.
I like it in a way because we get more Avatar, and this means in the future we could get even more Avatar with
Do we really want to?
Well, I think they are. So yes,
they're already doing it.
Yeah, like the original creators for The Last Airbender are creating a movie. I think.
Oh yeah, they have that.
Which is really nice.
I also find, like comics again.
Oh, yeah.
But they continue with Kuvira's arc as well, and like the continuation of the Earth Kingdom, because it essentially ends on Prince Wu saying, "Hey, I'm kind of a fucking idiot, and I shouldn't be in charge. So let's just start democracy because I'm a fucking idiot, and for no other particular reason."
Yeah.
But then what I find hilarious is that it just falls flat on their fucking faces because Kuvira's remaining forces essentially just turn up and vote.
Yeah.
and all the representatives are just already existing Earth Nation like nobles who just profit off of the existing regime.
Oh my god.
And it's like, wow, this is all really bad. Maybe I won't let it be democratic just yet. And that's that. And they also invent brainwashing machines.
Didn't they already have that with,
Yeah.
the Dai Li?
Like, they say, like, oh, we studied the Dai Li textbook, and then we turned it into a machine because we lack the skill to do it.
Oh my god.
And then they just brainwash all of Korra's friends and turn them to slaves and shit, and it's kind of as one does, and
of course
stuff, and yeah. Actually, yeah, no, they at least start brainwashing people to vote for Kuvira's like general.
Like Kuvira's not in jail.
Oh, she was in jail. It's just they brought her out, just like briefly, just to like try convince her like underlings to hey stop voting.
Oh.
And then it didn't work. They made Toph run for Earth Queen, but then she pretty much lost because they brainwashed the entire nation before the election.
And Toph wanted to become the Earth Queen?
Well, only she didn't want to, but they kind of forced her to, and she only went with it because...
She's like 90 years old.
I know, right? They're trying their hardest. They're running out of ideas here.
I think whatever their next project is, they should be going back in time. I think. I don't want to see what happens next. I don't want to see whatever the next Avatar does, but yeah, it'd be so cool to get something about Kyoshi or anyone else.
It would be. Maybe you could read the Kyoshi comics.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh no!
All right, well, I think that's it then, right?
I think we did it.
We did. We talked about Avatar.
Fine.
Come back next week for an even deeper analysis to why Momo is the most important character in all of Avatar.
Yeah,
obviously.
And with that being said, that was my last episode as well as a full-time host.
Wow, you're only part-time now.
Yeah.
Casual,
yeah. If someone...
Sucked in, you get worse wages.
Well, wait. You guys are getting paid?
No, you have to start paying us now.
Oh.
It's gone into the negatives.
Okay. Well, I don't have a lot to offer you. I got this knife. It's like a...
That's cool.
That's okay. You can't split it in half between me and Cal?
Yeah, actually, it does split in half.
Ooh.
That's also really cool and really convenient.
I know. It's so cool. I have a copy of The Hobbit. I have some vitamins as well.
Oh,
I got too many of those, but Reggie can have them.
Oh, okay. I've got... Oh, guys. I got my Coke can, of course.
I also have my Coke can. I have to get up now.
Aha. Callan, you deserve that for not having it next to you at all times. Right, Reggie? Right? You agree with me?
I always have it here.
Yeah, me too, because I don't have anywhere else to put it. So.
I know, me too.
I know. No one knows what we're talking about.
No.
But anywho.
That's it then.
If you like the art that's lying around in the first 3 episodes of this podcast, check it out. @guessing_Charlie on Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. The Tumblr, she forgot the password too, so she's never going to use it. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, not Facebook, and YouTube, as well as Spotify, Apple Music, and yada 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 yada. Fuck off now.
Bye-bye.
Guys. Oh, whoops, bye. I meant...
Moment.
Anyways, now here's the ending thing.
Yes.
Oh, guys, you gotta ask me any last words, because I'm leaving.
Any last words? Words last, any? You got this, Brandon. I believe in you. I have full faith.
Good job. Is good.
Brilliant.
Wait. And then you just cut it off there.
Brilliant. Amazing.
Yeah.
Or inspiring.
Love it.